The River Field Studies Network. Rivers are vital. For many human populations around the world, river flows are linked to livelihood, identity, and sense of place. They provide supporting, provisioning, regulating, and cultural ecosystem services essential for society, and they provide essential habitat for remarkable biodiversity. Rivers are also complex. The biology lives in the hydrology flows over the geology. This statement by the Mattole River Restoration Council captures how river function depends on climate, geology, hydrology, and biology. The vital services rivers provide depend on this complex interplay. Though vital to our well-being, rivers are in crisis, perhaps the most threatened ecosystem. Rivers face a variety of interacting threats to their integrity, including pollution, exploitation, non-native species, and human modification of natural river flow. And as a result, we have seen dramatic declines in freshwater biodiversity in recent decades, and the essential ecosystem services that society depends on are at risk. Because rivers are complex, coupled socio-ecological systems, overcoming these challenges to maintain and restore healthy rivers and the vital functions they provide will require a diverse workforce of interdisciplinary problem solvers. Field studies are a vital tool in creating this workforce. They connect students to learning objectives, peers, instructors, and communities through immersive, active learning in real-world environments. Recent studies highlight that field studies can help overcome achievement gaps and propel inclusion, catalyze career interest, and create informed and engaged citizens. They are a critical tool for creating a diverse workforce of interdisciplinary problem solvers. However, to unlock these benefits, field instructors must overcome a unique and growing set of challenges. Historically, professional development in academia for field studies instructors has been informal. In the absence of training structures, field studies relied upon passionate instructors willing to take on the extra labor of developing field courses and making the same mistakes and discovering the same solutions largely in isolation. This model, never ideal, is becoming increasingly unsustainable. In addition to knowledge of their discipline, field studies instructors today require a sophisticated grasp of specialized pedagogy and assessment, fundraising and institutional bureaucracy, issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and multiple dimensions of risk management. Mastering these is more than many self-taught instructors will be able to manage on their own. Without networks of support and guidance, instructors will burn out, risk-averse institutions will shy away, and field studies will continue to decline. The decline has accelerated dramatically in the past year due to new challenges presented by the global pandemic, causing more than 2,000 scientists to call for renewed investment in field stations and studies, stating that field courses are at the very heart of discovery and education. There could be no worse time to be handicapping the formation of the very students and educators that we most need to solve the great societal and environmental challenges we face in the Anthropocene. We agree. And the River Field Studies Network is our response to the paired crises of rivers and field studies. We are a community of practice supported by the National Science Foundation that aims to advance STEM education and support healthy rivers by connecting rivers, people, and science through immersive field education. By River Field Studies, we include everything from an afternoon at the campus creek to a semester-long river expedition. Our strategies to support river field studies evolved through stakeholder input, gathered from in-person and virtual workshops and a nationwide survey. Guided by the input of instructors at more than 125 universities teaching courses on nearly 140 different rivers across the United States, we identified 5 broad objectives. Our first objective is to build river field instructor capacity through a multi-tiered professional development program with virtual and in-person components. This program will provide training in the new tools for designing and assessing field activities that has been developed by our collaborators at UFERN, the Undergraduate Field Experiences Research Network, and others, and in ecological place-based pedagogy. It will also provide training in river field lab skills and pedagogy as well as outdoor skills relating to creating safe learning environments for students working in and traveling on rivers. River STEM fields do not currently reflect the gender, racial, or ethnic diversity of our country, and this undermines our ability to create the most innovative and equitable solutions to the complex challenges rivers face. Thus, our second objective is to broaden participation in river field studies. To accomplish this, we will design our professional development to be accessible to a diverse group of stakeholders and provide instructors with training in adaptive water sports and inclusive pedagogy and technology. And we will build partnerships with organizations and communities that help us bring river field studies to broader audiences. While field studies provide a tool for higher engagement and learning, they present physical, emotional, and health risks to student well-being that are distinct from online and classroom learning environments that must be assessed and managed in order to equitably realize their benefits. Thus, our third objective is to promote safety, health, equity, and inclusion in river field studies. To address risk management, promote socially positive experiences, and encourage inclusive practices, we will provide faculty hands-on training in managing physical, social, and emotional risk in river settings, create open-source undergraduate lessons in leadership, risk assessment, and management, and create and curate a library of resources and tutorials communicating best practices for river-based educators. Educational resources for river field studies was the top request based on our national survey and subsequent stakeholder input. Thus, our fourth objective is to develop this educational content. We'll accomplish this by supporting more experienced members to curate and share their existing content, and by mentoring more junior members to create new materials through their professional development training. We aim to disseminate materials that are interdisciplinary, place-based, comparative, multimodal, media-enriched, assessment-driven, and open source. Our fifth objective is to develop frameworks to share resources and facilitate community building across the network. In addition to our online and in-person activities, and working across partner institutions to facilitate exchanges across courses, we'll accomplish this through our web presence, particularly our network homepage and CUBES Hub group page. Our network homepage provides information about the network, particularly things like latest news and upcoming studies, and links to resources in areas of professional development, curriculum, diversity and outreach, risk management and safety, and links to partner organizations and network calendars. All of this is searchable through our menu-driven search window. But in addition, you can also use our resource map to browse for profiles of member institutions, member faculty, course materials or educational content, or even river-specific online content that we've pulled in, like this virtual tour of the James River in Richmond, Virginia. The webpage also links to our CUBES Hub group, where we maintain our open source resource library. We will advance these objectives by recognizing that stakeholders differ in their commitment levels and by organizing activities in an annual training and content development cycle. Our organizing team consists of a steering committee, E, focused on network level coordination and assessment, and focal area committees, D, tasked with advancing each objective. The steering committee is made of the chairs of the focal committees. Participants fall into 3 levels scaled by their commitment. The focal cohort, C, participates in a year-long series of virtual and in-person professional training opportunities. The mentoring network, B, participates in just the virtual training opportunities, but both C and B participate in creating and sharing new educational content. Our widest ring of engagement are A, the resource users. This group may have a global footprint. And finally, students participate in our professional development process for instructors. Our goal is that grant support will cover all participant expenses. Network activities vary by season. The year begins with a virtual winter symposium featuring a keynote speaker, in which the new participants are welcome, the previous year's products are showcased, progress reports are made, and plans for the upcoming year are communicated. The spring season focuses on a virtual professional development training, identifying educational materials to be developed that cycle, and planning for the summer rendezvous. The summer season is focused on preparation and delivery of the in-person river rendezvous. The River Rendezvous is a week-long, in-person professional development workshop for the trainers and the focal cohort of instructor participants. It involves pre-trip virtual training, 3 days on-site training for participant instructors where we focus on hands-on skill development, and then a 4-day mini course with a cohort of local students. The goal of the rendezvous is to build instructor competence through student engagement. Instructors can identify strengths and areas for growth from looking at student learning outcomes and student feedback, as well as feedback from the trainers. Each year, the rendezvous is held at a new river in a different region of the country. For instructors looking to develop a field course of their own, completing the river rendezvous training should give them the skills and confidence that they need. Mentoring rendezvous graduates through the process of developing and running their own field course is one of the roles of the Faculty Mentoring Network. The fall season focuses again on virtual activities for the revision and production of the new educational materials and professional development that's associated with that process. Fall is also when we will recruit the next cohort of instructor participants. And then we're back to the winter symposium and we take stock of another year. To ensure that we grow in a data-driven manner, we have engaged Dr. Rupu Gupta of Knology to guide annual external evaluation, and each winter we get feedback from our expert advisory panel. Well, that gives you a quick introduction to the River Field Studies Network. Our young community of practice is growing rapidly and now includes more than 100 members across 30 states. This diverse community is united by a passion for rivers as a context for soul-satisfying teaching experiences and the promise of field studies for propelling inclusion and excellence in natural sciences. Whether you're a new instructor looking for course content and experienced mentors, a river field veteran with experience and resources to share, or a community partner looking to engage faculty expertise and undergraduate energy and enthusiasm for place-based service learning, the River Field Studies Network has something to offer you. Join us and help inspire the next generation of river scholars and stewards.